how much have you been looking forward to this day and getting the 2023 spring training underway?
Yeah, it's great to see everybody. I think that's my favorite part about spring training is it's a reunion for everybody to get back. And, obviously we see each other a little bit during the off season, if we're doing Reds Fest or we happen to just run into each other or something. But to be back on a baseball field and to have all those commonalities is always special. So really glad to be back. Glad to see everybody and get things going.
Hunter, how much different 1 year to the next? I would assume, based on where you were last year and what you accomplished during the season, that this feels like an entirely different experience showing up this year.
Yeah, for sure. I was just sharing with Mark. It's funny coming in last year in camp. I was a lot more quiet, reading the room a lot more, kind of being a fly on the wall. But this spring training, I feel like I'm truly a part of the team and helping the team win last year, and looking forward to doing that more so and doing it as a unit. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, it's a totally different feel from last year to this year, but still the same mindset going in. And like I said, looking forward to the start of the season.
Hunter, how challenging is it coming in so early on? You're starting to throw your pens. When you're throwing it, like, not to put all the juice on it all at once, because it's a long season ahead of you with a long spring training.
Yeah, I think I've learned that over the years. My first few spring trainings, I don't want to say I was 100% intensity, but it was definitely more of a setting where I felt like I had to impress, the pitching coach or, the assistant or whoever was, behind me watching the pins. I think, over the years, understanding the expectations in spring training, knowing that the results don't matter as much as obviously during the season and the beginning of the season, but this is a time for us to, just cultivate our skills a little bit more and hone everything in before, the start of season. So I think that's just, over the years and, maturing and understanding the expectations of the camp. It's a totally different perspective.
How would you characterize your expectations, Hunter, both for yourself and the team, given, how the season ended last year? I would assume, your expectations are to improve both individually and as a team.
Yeah, definitely. Without getting into the weeds of it, I mean, working on my third pitch, and I feel great about it. Obviously spent a lot of time working on that, and that was my main focus, and being able to provide, or to have that pitch in my repertoire going into this year is going to be really exciting. It'll help with lowering my pitch count and having early contact. So, an extra tool for me to become even a better pitcher. So, that's helped a lot with my own development and my own expectations. But regarding the team, we have such a, special unit, special group of guys that have, worked extremely hard in their off season, coming into spring, going into this new 2023 season. Obviously last year was frustrating. We had a lot of great moments, a lot of great games, but also some ones that, were, like I said, frustrating, and I know we could have done better. So, without talking about results, I think, all of us are extremely excited to go into this season. We all have our own goals, but I think coming together as a unit, our chemistry is a lot better than last year. I feel like, we started to have those conversations toward the end of spring training. I think we all know how important that is for all of us to be able to learn more about each other. For example, sitting in on bullpens and knowing, what we're trying to work on, on the day-to-day. So I think all of that will come into play and help with the results on the field.
Tyler obviously missed a lot of time last year with injury, but how important is this time of year? Because there were so many guys who started behind the plate for you last season, to build that chemistry right now.
Yeah, the consistency this year will help a lot. Obviously, I'm not in those discussions. It's kind of out of my control, but I definitely feel like I have say, in those discussions, and that I can, be I can add that perspective, I guess, being a player on the field, having to compete every fifth day. I know David and DJ and JR and all those guys value, our opinions. So it'll help this year a lot, having some consistency back there and being able to, like I said, build that chemistry. And, whoever's behind the plate knowing, what I like, what works well for him, and us being able to find a middle ground.
So one more for Hunter.
What was your offseason like? How did you structure it to get ready for spring training? How much time did you take off after the season? How did that go?
Yeah, I took about a month off of throwing. I scaled down my I guess my workload of playing catch, coming off the end of the season, not stopping my throwing completely, but being able to go from, 120 all the way back down to 90, 60 feet in that range. So then taking, a couple of weeks off of actually not throwing and then getting back into it, ramping back in. So I felt like I, had a good break, was able to kind of rejuvenate, take the break that I needed. Not just physically, but mentally as well. So I feel like I'm in a really good place moving forward.
Hunter, if I can jump in real quick, I think fans often look at yourself, Nick Lodolo, Graham Ashcraft as this young core that they can be excited about going forward. Do you look at it that way, as you three is almost a foundational piece to what this organization is building for?
Most definitely, yeah. Like you said, it's extremely exciting to watch. I know us three are extremely excited to be together. I think is really special. Not a lot of teams have this young core. Obviously, we're the youngest in the rotations throughout the league. But like I said, it's really exciting. We talk about it every day, and something that I loved last year. DJ got us together and kind of brought up the Braves. With Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox, and looking at ourselves in that light, which is pretty special. So. Having that friendship, but also that competitiveness between the three of us is exciting. So it's going to be a great year. And like I said, the chemistry couldn't be better.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hunter.
Nice to see you guys.